Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're doing well and that you're all having a great day. Welcome back to a new week. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Members of Ethereum's open source development team have reached an agreement on an activation time for Constantinople, a proposed code change designed to give users the option to update the blockchain with additional features. Speaking at a bi-weekly core developer meeting on Friday, the developers agreed on block 7 million something on the Ethereum blockchain as an activation point at which users would be able to elect to upgrade to the new code. Simply put, should users choose to accept the change by upgrading their software, the update would go live when the block is mined. According to estimates by release manager from the Parity Ethereum wallet, Afri Shodin, this means Constantinople is expected to go live on the 14th and or 18th of January. The block number is expected to be introduced onto the platform in the next batch of software updates. Martin Halst-Svenda, security lead at the Ethereum Foundation and the Go Ethereum client, said that the Go Ethereum software release will also include an emergency switch to delay the upgrade in the event of any unexpected issues. Originally targeted for November, Constantinople would bring a host of design changes aimed at streamlining the platform's code. Additionally, it seeks to delay the difficulty bomb that's inside of the network as well. And the most important part that a lot of people are waiting for is it would reduce the mining reward from 3 Ethereum to 2 Ethereum. Therefore, in essence, making Ethereum a little bit scarcer than it currently is right now. The other argument, or rather the other thing that's happening also with Ethereum, kind of in the background that no one is really talking about too much anymore, is that people are waiting for some type of word or information or something from Vitalik Buterin or maybe other people on the Ethereum team as to if there's going to be an actual cap on the number of Ethereum that's being made. This was a discussion around the time we had around 97 million Ethereum floating out there, and I think we have over 100 million right now, and I think the talk of the proposal was for a cap at 120 million, and now people are saying that it could be 150 million. No one knows, but the point is Constantinople lays the framework, the ground, the tarmac down for Casper and Plasma to be on the platform as well. So Constantinople is pretty much like the first step that we need to be activated. Well, like it says over here, we thought it was going to happen in November. There was a lot of excitement around it. The price of Ethereum, I think, ticked up a tiny bit because it was just in anticipation for something that we had been told about for a couple of years that was going to be activated on the network. They told us that, not that they found bugs, I think that they were trying to make sure that they were smoothing it out as much as possible. There's a lot of attention being paid to Ethereum right now. Ethereum is still, even though it's number 3 right now, it's still the golden child in the cryptocurrency space, while Bitcoin store of money, XRP, is like the money transfer thing that we have right now. Ethereum is meant to be the platform where everything can be built on top of, but they need the speed for it. So Constantinople is the beginning of the steps for the other things that should be laid on top of it. And we were hinted at getting them potentially in the beginning of 2019. There were 2 other like developer conferences that happened maybe end of summer of this year, obviously not next year. And Vitalik Buterin was saying that he didn't think people realized how quick some of these upgrades were close to being implemented. Let's hope that this actually ends up going. As of right now, the way that I kind of see things is that people are waiting for a Bitcoin bull run, but don't forget that Ethereum is tied to almost every other coin as well. When we've seen Ethereum shoot up before in the past, other coins have also shot up. So if we have a good enough momentum in price, should the upgrades either come out or that we're told that they are going to be implemented onto the Ethereum network sometime at least in Q1 or Q2 of 2019. This could be very good for prices overall, but it's nice that they finally found a block that they have all agreed on. I hope that this isn't delayed once again, simply because prices, money. But yeah, let's move on from the Ethereum news. This one's actually pretty interesting. The government of Malta this week announced the signing of a joint declaration of cooperation on distributed ledger technology, or DLT. They joined a group of 6 other southern European countries. They were France, Italy, Portugal, Spain, Greece, and Cyprus. The countries released a joint statement noting a shared view that the digital sphere is an ideal policy area for future cooperation. It also claims that DLT, also known sometimes as blockchain, and other emerging technologies such as 5G and artificial intelligence could transform the country's economies. The Digital Economy and Society Index shows that Southern European countries have huge potential for growth in the sector. The countries believe that a cooperation approach could lead to an expansion of their digital ecosystems, making the region a leader in the industry. Here's a pretty photo of everybody smiling. That part right there is not too important. This part is important. The signees of the statement believe it is a government's responsibility to promote emerging technologies and pledge to do so. This will be through educational programs at all levels to ensure citizens understand the technology's potential. They state that any legislation on distributed ledger technologies should take into account the decentralized nature of such technology and should be based on European fundamental principles and technological neutrality. The countries plan to hold regular technical meetings, sharing best practices in the sector and exposing potential cross-border DLT projects. They commit to regular progress reviews and call upon the European Commission to continue working on the European blockchain partnership. Imagine if we had I don't know where everyone else is located in the world. Can you imagine if multiple countries came together and did stuff like this and pledged to bring about the future of distributed ledger technology or to bring about a decentralized anything in their country? It completely caught me off guard. I'm actually incredibly surprised simply because for those who don't know, Italy, Spain, and Greece are not the strongest countries economically based on whatever. I'm not getting into it. This is not a politics channel. And I wished for quite some time that I don't know the extent at which they will be adopting or bringing this into themselves or whatever. I'm glad that they have even just signed the declaration or talking about bringing this to other all levels of education to let people know at multiple stages of life what cryptocurrencies and distributed ledger technology and blockchain are, all three together. It's kind of cool. If you don't think this is cool, I really don't know what to tell you. It's absolutely fantastic. I wish that other countries came together and did this. Can you imagine if we had a situation where Canada, the US, and Mexico and like 7 other South American countries came together, signed a declaration, and said that it was going to be their priority to make sure that, everyone comes together and learns about this technology? Probably never going to happen within our lifetimes unless something dramatic ends up happening relatively soon. Anyway, I thought this was very cool. Thought I'd talk about it a bit, and I hope that other countries end up taking the lead as well. I told you guys before, situation that we have right now is the U.S. was in a position to be able to make sure that they were number one in the industry, and other countries are slowly coming together and they're making the rules for themselves, and I am almost certain that they're going to be able to dominate the sector as it was as time ends up going on. Yeah, but let's move on. IOTA is in the news today. IOTA Foundation recently announced its new partnership with eClass with the aim to standardize Internet of Things payments and data transmission, according to the official blog. With this new partnership, IOTA and eClass are trying to figure out how to leverage data marketplace of IOTA with eClass IDRI, the International Registration Data Identifier system, in order to allow for data collection across various industries and IT systems. IOTA, this is the second time, and when I saw this news, I actually almost skipped over it because it reads very similar to one that we had actually last week. They're knocking out the partnerships. The IOTA team they're getting a lot of partnerships relatively fast. And it's kind of cool that they're like constantly doing this because a lot of other cryptocurrency projects that we have right now just simply aren't releasing news. Like I told you guys before, nobody wants to release news during a bear market. But the IOTA team, maybe they have so much under their belt that they're finally like, okay, we have to release some type of information about what's going on. They said, "We are excited to team up with such a strong and trusted organization." This was said by Holger Kuttner, Director of Partnerships at IOTA Foundation. "It is an exceptional opportunity to shape how the next generation of devices across all industry landscapes can communicate through data and micropayments, truly empowering a machine-to-machine economy for the Internet of Everything." The blog post mentioned that the partnership will allow organizations to collect a number of new information on their products and other connected devices. For instance, data on the current as well as average power consumption on the microprocessors could be collected by companies to determine the software updates that needed for the product. Moreover, machines can also request their peers' attributes in order to identify the machine partner which will be compatible. E-Class boasts they have a lot of members, so and so in conjunction about. Okay, so what I said before in the other video, and people disagreed with me. Whenever I read news about the IOTA partnerships, there's never information about the actual person or company or corporation who they're partnering with actually using the token. People told me that I was wrong, and that if you use the Tangle, you are then going to, by default, use the IOTA token. I have not seen information about this anywhere, so I do apologize if I have been incorrect this entire time. I'm only one person. I don't know the entirety of the cryptocurrency space. However, if you can find or provide information that by using the Tangle by default, you have to use the IOTA token, please share it with everyone, share it with the rest of the class. We would all like to know, because this would mean that they have at least 14 to 15 new companies over the last couple of months who are going to be using their token. That is incredibly fascinating. Like, that's something that a lot of people need to know that that's going to happen. I had the same exact issue before with Stellar. We had a lot of companies who were talking about using the Stellar blockchain, but there was never an indication of them using the actual Stellar token. And people also said that I was also incorrect. And if you can please provide that information, let everyone else know, because if this is true and other by them defaulting using the Tangle and stuff like that for the gathering of information, they also have to use the IOTA token to maybe process the transactions of the actual messages being sent back and forth, that things are happening on the blockchain. That could have a very huge effect on the price of the IOTA token going into the future, especially if you are they're constantly I'm going to assume that E-Class is a car partnership or something like that. A lot of the things that they've been partnering with have been automobile corporations and stuff like that. And realistically, if all the information that's supposed to be transferred back and forth through their Tangle is going to have to go through the token in some capacity to be able to send the transactions or the information back and forth, that's potentially hundreds of millions of transactions every hour or something like that that'll be passing through their network. Anyway, that's the IOTA news. Very good on them that they're constantly having all of these new partnerships. And without further ado, let us move on. Next up, Kik is in the news. The Kin Foundation has begun rolling out its plans to build a cryptocurrency ecosystem to power its messaging platform, starting with a new tipping feature. Kik, the popular messaging app for iPhone and Android, revealed the other day that a new tipping feature that uses the company's native token known as Kin. This was reported by the Next Web. The feature will be available other day, for a limited set of users, and will only be available on Android devices for the time being. Kik is a widely used messaging app that connects users via individual and group chats. The company is also behind the Kin Foundation that created the Kin cryptocurrency token. Kin started its life as an ERC20 token, not that important, so and so and so. They forked Stellar to use their blockchain. For now, Kin tipping will only allow users to tip the moderators and admins of public group chats, but Kik will eventually launch tipping for all of its 300 million users, and this is why I think that the Kin cryptocurrency is the most fascinating. With other cryptocurrency projects, you can have a great idea, you can have an awesome token, great sounding name, all these other things. The problem is that you have to bring in the users. You have to find a way to get everyone to actually know that your thing exists. When you already have 300 million users, even if on a daily basis, there are maybe half this many people who are going to use it, and even half of that, let's say 75 million, who will think about using the Kin token, that's an automatic 300 million people that are gaining exposure to it, and 75 million who are potentially probably going to use it at least once a day in some sort of way. That is incredible. That's a huge playing field that you already have. The same exact thing where we were talking about Facebook coin or Face coin. If they do decide to ever roll that out, they already have 2 billion people who will gain exposure to it. Completely insane. Kik's head of product, her name is Laura Newton, explained that admin tipping incentivizes public group admins to foster enjoyable chat experiences on Kik, while giving group participants the opportunity to thank admins for maintaining these spaces in the app. As reported by Redditors, tips appear as a mid-chat alert, similar to the way users joining or exiting a chat is indicated. The value of the tip isn't revealed, but tips are currently capped at 500 Kin, which is just a little more than a penny's worth of the cryptocurrency. The initial rollout is also limited to 1,000 public groups. As the new feature is thoroughly tested, these 1,000 public groups can have up to 50 users each chatting, potentially exposing the new tipping feature to as many as 50,000 Kik users. And then they talk about ecosystem, so and so, blah, 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 blah. This point for those, I mentioned something like that before, and people didn't get why, like something similar to another thing, and why they would have so few people. You have to make sure to do like very, very thorough tests. If you are going to release something that potentially 300 million people have the option of using, and it doesn't work for 1,000 people, that's a problem. So they slowly roll these things out. This is why it says, as many as 50,000 people. They have to see if the payments are actually working, if the blockchain is okay. I'm pretty sure their blockchain, I don't know, have like an exact speed test on it, but I've sent kin back and forth before, and it's really weird. Like if you're on like a cryptocurrency exchange and you click like the button to send it, as I was on my third breath of breathing in, it had already transferred to the wallet. For those who were, people were asking before in another video, sorry that I didn't get back to you. I didn't think it would be, I thought it would be a bit weird to make like a dedicated video to tell you where to get kin from. If you go onto, I know a lot of people don't care for it. If you go onto CoinMarketCap and find the kin token, and there's an area that says markets, like it should be like charts in markets. I think that's what it usually says. If you click on markets, it shows you all the cryptocurrency websites, exchanges, where you're able to actually buy kin from. This is not an endorsement. I'm not being paid by them. I know people keep claiming that. I promise you I'm not. The way that I've been getting, or where I've been getting it from, has been Yobit. The reason I use them is because they've actually been out for quite some time. It has to be about 2 or 3 years at this point. They're not one of the most widely used cryptocurrency exchanges, but it works. It's where I've been getting mine from. I don't know the exact like daily volume on theirs, but it's gone off without a hitch. I haven't had any real issue when it comes to, or when it has come to getting kin on their platform. This is a side note people were asking before. I saw multiple people in the comments asking where to get kin from. Thank you to everyone else who was responding back to other people in the comment section who were looking to buy it and just couldn't really figure out exactly where to get it from. I've been using Yobit. I would recommend it. As always, do your own research to see if you trust that website. I trust them because I've been using them for quite some time, but make sure this is your own money. Don't just throw cryptocurrencies onto another website that you potentially do not trust. Anyway, I'm very excited for the future of kin. I'm waiting for the full rollout. There's still no, I think, specified date as far as I can tell as to when this is all going to kind of roll out. And I want to see exactly how many users are going to be using it. I can almost assure you I'm going to make sure that I'm using it. We still have, I think, 10 of the apps that they released a couple of weeks ago that are using the kin token as well. And there's still 15 more to come that we know about. But yeah, on the kin kick news, let us move on. Some things to kind of end the video with. I thought this was incredibly cool. There we go. KFC in Australia. KFC in Venezuela is accepting payments using the cryptocurrency known as Dash starting this week, joining a growing list of fast food chains that accept cryptocurrency in Venezuela, including Subway and Papa John's. KFC will initially roll out the program at its store in the Venezuelan capital of Caracas before expanding to 24 other locations across the nation. Alejandro Echeverria, the co-founder of Dash Merchant Venezuela and Dash Text, has been working with KFC for the past 3 months to promote more widespread adoption of Dash in the socialist, they didn't have to say that, South American country. Echeverria said that there are already 2,445 merchants in Venezuela that accept Dash. Apparently started out as a small thing, obviously, and now it's growing a lot bigger. For those who don't know, quick side note, Venezuela is going through massive hyperinflation right now. In order to do anything in the country, you need like bags of money. It's actually kind of weird. So what's been happening, I don't know the name of the other YouTube channel. There's a guy, for the life of me, I can't remember the name of it. It's pretty much this guy going around Venezuela paying for things in Dash. It's actually pretty interesting. They don't have a lot of views on his channels. I guess a lot of people aren't really interested in seeing a guy going to different food spots and buying food with Dash. Anyway, the point is we are entering a space right now where many countries around the world are going through hyperinflation. Venezuela just happens to be at the forefront because theirs just seems to be the worst. Like 1.5 million % hyperinflation is just unforeseen, unforetold numbers. So what's been happening in the country is that there was a push towards the beginning of this year that people were actually starting to use Bitcoin a bit more in the country. At some point, Dash came in, and a lot of people in the country are using Dash as their actual payment method. The fact that this isn't making like worldwide headline news is, I think, completely insane. Like, we have a country, like, cryptocurrencies were created, Bitcoin, 10 years ago. Dash is about 5, 6, 7 years old. I think wasn't Dash like Bitcoin Dark or Dark Bitcoin, or it had some other name before it was rebranded to Dash. Like it's not that old, and we have an entire country more or less. Its citizens are starting to use this cryptocurrency as a way to. I mean, these may not be the healthiest food options, but they're still finding a way to be able to eat in that country using cryptocurrencies. The fact that this isn't spoken about everywhere is kind of perplexing to me. I mean, I understand I hate the term mainstream media, but you understand what I'm saying. Like larger news outlets, maybe it's not as important to them. Maybe they don't find it that significant. I think it's completely indicative of exactly where the cryptocurrency and the future economy is going to go, especially as many other countries around the world are already starting to begin to experience very strong inflation and could potentially one day hit those Venezuela numbers. Anyway, the point is, this is incredibly interesting. I'm still waiting for, I'm waiting for the time when other countries also end up having situations like this where they start accepting cryptocurrencies. But on the other side of that coin is people in the country would have to suffer. And I don't really want that. I don't want people to have to worry about carrying around a pillowcase full of money just to be able to buy bread. So hopefully this is why I am a big advocate for crypto adoption and crypto spreading around the world, so that people don't have to go through that huge hyperinflation stage, that they can move, they can see that their fiat currency is potentially garbage, and they can simply just start adopting cryptocurrencies before any type of hyperinflation ends up happening. But anyway, I thought this was very interesting, very good. I mean, can you imagine this happening in your country? Like, I don't see many companies and organizations and food places accepting cryptocurrencies as like not even as a default, just in general when you're trying to buy food. I think that would be kind of nice. I think we'll get there eventually, but it's nice that this is definitely happening in a number of other countries who need it. The other thing that I wanted to simply slide over is that people are now claiming that Bitcoin Cash, Satoshi's vision, is it's unsafe, that you are actually able to double spend coins on the platform with zero confirmation transactions. There's a video here, can't play it because of copyright so-and-so, who claims that he was actually able to do a double spend attack, and he showed it in the video, blah, blah, blah. But there are people, I think Craig Wright responded at some point talking about that this was false, this was completely fake. There's also, I don't have the information right here because I don't want to waste that much breath on SV, where people were talking about that they found out that Bitcoin Cash SV is actually only, what's it called? They only run like 4 nodes on the entire network, and apparently it's very easy to get control over 2 of the nodes because the nodes don't even really talk to each other. They're not sending information through each other to be able to avoid the actual double spend attacks or a 51% attack, whatever the case might be. There were also people, I think there's also a lawsuit going on against the Bitcoin Cash SV, and I think against Craig Wright. And I think also against the guy who created Bitcoin Cash in general. Something about centralization, something about that Bitcoin Cash SV was propping up its price because, oh gosh, what was it? Something about that they figured out how to manipulate something and cause their price. I don't know exactly what it is. It's not really that important if you want the 100% truth. The point is, there are a lot of other cryptocurrency exchanges who have announced that they are not going to list support for Bitcoin Cash SV. Please pay attention to where you have your money. If you decide to invest in Bitcoin Cash SV because you think it potentially has a future, do like 18 hours worth of research, and I mean that seriously. Like, read up on exactly what it is. Read the good and the bad is how you kind of gauge where you're going. I don't have any Bitcoin Cash SV, and even if I did, I would sell it off immediately. That's just me personally. Anyway, just thought I'd throw those 2 extra news things in there because they were kind of cool or interesting to talk about. This one was cool. This one was interesting to talk about. Anyway, as far as prices are going, Bitcoin was up a bit more a couple of hours ago. There was no real reason for the actual spike up in price. People said it just could be that they thought that we potentially hit the bottom. A lot of people are saying don't pay attention to what happened before. Some of the other prices are obviously trying to go up whenever Bitcoin goes up. This is usually a good indication that the rest of the market is going to kind of move up as well. At the moment, everything is kind of, I want to say, trending sideways more or less. Ethereum was up a little bit about a day ago, maybe even like a couple of hours ago, because of the information of the upgrade that is supposed to be happening at the beginning of next year. A lot of people are very excited about that because it then means that the other upgrades can then be rolled out on top of that as well. But as of right now, these are the prices. Everything is moving kind of slowly. I mean, it's better to see things going up by 1% than having them go down by 24% at the exact same time. I think that's definitely going to do it for this video. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. Hope it's absolutely fantastic. I hope your week starts off great. Thank you once again for watching and or listening. I will definitely update you guys should anything. I have a really weird inkling and that something really crazy is going to happen this week. I don't know why. It could just be in my life. It could be with the cryptocurrency prices, but it feels like we've been leading up to something that could potentially affect the market. Anyway, that's just stuff happening in my brain. Thank you once again. And yeah, I'll talk to you all soon. See you.